Welcome to the Friday Power Lunch, a weekly show amplifying the voices of the Virginia grassroots. Each week, we provide engaging conversations about politics, culture, and women making change. Produced by the unstoppable women of Network Nova, our motto is, when we vote, we win. The Friday Power Lunch is recorded before a live Zoom audience. Follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and show us some love and become a sponsor through Patreon. The Friday Power Lunch. Badass women getting things done.
It's September 8th, and welcome to the Friday Power Lunch. I'm Catherine White, bringing you the guests, the issues, the actions, because we amplify the voice of the grassroots to get things done. And you know us. We like to have fun, and that was proved today with our fun song, so we're glad you're in the room. And the theme today, as I said, it's all about working together and how to win back the majority, and the power in this room will be exciting. We have some great guests, and I'd like to bring them up to say hello. We have the Coastal Power Pack with us today, Victoria Luevanos. She's running in Senate District 20. Let's bring her up. Hi, hello, Victoria. How are you doing? Great to see you in the room.
Hi, everyone. Doing good. A little under the weather, but doing good.
Yeah, I got to add myself in so I could see you. Well, good. Let's bring up your other friend, Kat Porterfield from House District 99 and CHARLENA JONES, House District 100. Let's bring you all up, this Coastal Power Pack. It's great. Kat, how are you doing? Tell us about your secret to being happy.
The secret to being happy, being involved. Sitting back and watching other people make decisions for me, that doesn't bring me any sort of happiness at all.
I love that. Yeah. And CHARLENA, welcome. It's your first time on the Power Lunch. Great to see you also, this great coastal group. Tell me about your secret. What makes you happy?
Yeah, so thanks for having me. And this is an exciting experience. So what makes me happy is remembering it's not about me. It's about others.
You and me and us. That's great. And Victoria, I'll give you a chance. What makes you happy?
I've been a lifelong volunteer, so I've always found a bit of happiness in just helping people.
Oh, great. And then running for office is so important. Well, we're going to unpack your secrets today about working together. And we're glad you can join us because it's really about trying to take back this majority. Everything you guys are doing is so, so important. Thank you for being here. And next up, we're going to hear from Red, Wine, and Blue. And yes, we have them back because they are working together and there's a lot to discuss what they're doing across Virginia. Penny Blue, Executive Director, or Program Director. Welcome, Penny. Welcome back. And Laura Burry, also the Deputy Program Director. You guys have been busy. What's making you happy, Penny?
Actually, Red, Wine, and Blue is making me happy. You mentioned teamwork, and I do love teamwork. And it's interesting because I've been with Red, Wine, and Blue now since mid-May. And when I'm in meetings, I'm actually smiling and laughing and having a good time. So the teamwork and the work that Red, Wine, and Blue does is making me happy.
That's a really good. We'll have this recorded. We're going to have to play that for them. And Laura, hello and welcome. How are you doing? And tell us about your happiness.
It's good to be here. My happiness, Penny stole my happiness, but I have more than just one. So my happiness is just being all in for Virginia. It's energizing. All of us are just working together and the momentum makes me happy.
Nice, because you guys are really building something special here, and the timing couldn't have been perfect to kind of connect with Red, Wine, and Blue when we did a couple of years ago, and here you are making us happy. So we're really excited to unpack what's going on and how we're going to work together with you all. So thank you, Penny and Laura. Great to see you again.
Thank you for having us.
Last up, we're doing power packs. And if you're new to this, power packs are collaborative groups of people working together, elected working together with the Senate person, usually kind of leading the top, but not always. They're just really situated geographically so they can work together, work doors, coordinate, just so if you don't know what a power pack is. So this one is very special, and it's Chesterfield Power Pact, and Henrico is some part of that also. So Tracy Frazen, welcome. And also Natan McKenzie. And I don't know if Bilal is here, Rachani is here yet, but if not, welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing? And let's start with Tracy. What makes you happy?
I think, as someone said in the comments, teamwork makes the dream work, and that's what we're feeling right now. You know, it's really exciting, this collaboration we've got going on. I was on a Zoom this morning with Markers for Democracy from New York, and now with Network Nova, and it's just everyone pitching in to help out is like really inspiring and enthusiastic. It's hard slog on the campaign trail, but everyone pitching in really fills my spirits.
Yeah, it's true. When everybody is rowing together, you don't even know it sometimes because you just know they're behind you. Natan, so tell us, welcome, by the way. You are in Senate District 12. You are
yes.
Top of the power pack and pulling everybody. So what makes you happy, my friend?
Oh man, so many things. I will say that Bilal's running a little short. He is a teacher by day, so he's going to cut in between his classes. So we'll be able to see him shortly. But what makes me happy, like I said, so many things, but if I could narrow it down, it's really finding hope in others, right? When we do this work, it sometimes feels like you're in an island, but when you're meeting with a constituent, a friend, or supporter, and they're just is so enthusiastic just to meet you, but also that you're kind of channeling or championing their causes, really uplifts me, especially during those hot days canvassing out there. So for sure.
Yeah, this work, to do it on your own or do it it just makes such a difference. And it's great how I think Network Nova, what we've been able to do is pull Virginia all together. And I think that was kind of missing. So, I know we'll be coming down there this weekend, and we hope other people in the room will be joining us down because, we know we can flip that area blue. So that would make us very happy too. So glad you're here. Super, super. All right. So this is just our start of the show. And we have some great stuff coming up with the Grassroots. Luisa's here to talk about the power packs. But before we get started, I want to make sure that if you're new to the room, we have some rules. That is, use our chat, enjoy the conversation. But if you get nasty or super, super negative, it just makes us happy to kick you out. That's okay. Because we want to make sure that we stay positive, but real. Just keep it real, but don't get nasty. And our favorite part is the after chat, where we all come together and literally share a lot, because a lot, like we said about the collaboration, is communication. I feel like a lot of times in our work, it's all about talking to one another and informing each other. So this is a great stay with us. If our guests usually can stay with us too. So we hope you will also. And lastly, support the show. We have a Patreon subscription, so you can throw a couple dollars our way every month. This really is important as we try to really grow our show and get out to amplify. If the more support we have, the more we're able to really show people, look, this is important, invest in us, because we really want to bring this show to scale if we can. So I want to say hello and thank you to Peggy Ritledge. She's our newest patron. Are you in the room, Peggy? If you are, put your hand up. Let's say hi, Peggy, and thank you for being a patron. Thank you so much. All right. Super excited. Talk about teamwork. Let's bring up LUISA Boyarski, who is the leader of so many of the coalitions now. Talk about growing and being part of a community. You're working in Loudoun and also down in Virginia Beach. How are you doing, LUISA? And what makes you happy?
Well, what makes me happy is just seeing all of these activists in the room together. I think we started this work together in 2017, and I still think doing this together is really activism therapy. How do you deal with what you're seeing in the news? How do you deal with the fact that Youngkin is raising a ton of money? How do you deal with, there are all those things. And my answer is always go back to these people that we have that we can connect with, and we can canvass together, or we can postcard together, or we can early vote together, which is one of the big things I want to talk about today. As we all know, early voting is coming up. It's very exciting. And we are trying to encourage people to vote early the first day. We want to take back from the Republicans who are trying to take early voting as the thing, their new strategy to get Republicans to vote. We don't want to just take it back. We want to take it back and have a party. So we have got multiple locations that have early voting parties planned for September 22nd. So the goal is get your folks, get them out to the polls, and then go have a glass of wine, go have a beer, reconnect. This is all about relationships. And the reason people come back is because they care about each other and they care about, doing this work together. And so give them a chance to celebrate. Also, it's just a great way to start getting out the word and reminding people that they can vote early. It's easy to vote early and it's fun to vote early. So in the chat, I'm going to put all of our early vote happy hours. There's one in Fairfax, there's one in Front Royal, there's one in Loudoun County, there's one in Virginia Beach, there's one in Accomack County, and there's one in Arlington. So if you did not hear your area, you need to plan an early vote happy hour, and we can add you to the awesome list of opportunities. But this gives us a chance to take photos, right? It gives us a chance to post on social media, and then you can put the link to say, you want to vote early too? So easy. And here's how you find out where the location is, and here's how you find out who's on your ballot. So want to really push, let's get this done. Let's get these votes counted early. The last thing we want are people who are scrambling on the last day saying, oh, I don't know how I'm going to make it to the polls. Do it now, get it out of the way. And as we always say, it saves resources and time, right? As soon as we know that you voted, we don't have to knock on your door again. As soon as we know that you voted, we don't have to send you a ton of mailers. So let's focus on that for the next couple of weeks, is getting people excited, getting people engaged, and getting them to the polls. So that's number one. And then number two, of course, is this year it's so important for us to be canvassing. And the reason I say this is because we've had changes, right? We have new district lines. We have, new people running who people have never heard of before. We need to let voters know about their opportunities to vote, about who's on their ballot. We have a lot of local races. I know we have someone from the school board. We all know that the school board, they don't tell you if you're a Democrat or Republican on the ballot. We need to help let people know that. And having those conversations at the doors, it just makes the candidates become real people, right? It's a difference between getting a piece of mail and thinking, oh, well, it's just a glossy thing that, of course, a marketing firm put together and whatever. Having someone come up and say, hey, I've met this person and this is why I really support them. This is what you should know about them, so that and encourage them to learn more. So really want to make sure that we're doing this canvassing. And to do that, the Grassroots is planning weekends of action all throughout September. So I'm going to put those in the chat as well. As you already heard, there's going to be a great one for Nathan McKenzie and the other folks down in his Power Pack. That's going to be this weekend on September 9th. Then we have canvassing in Leesburg for Russet Perry on September 16th. And another opportunity that Sunday on the 17th to canvass for her. So depending upon which direction you're coming from, there's a bus coming from Alexandria on the 17th down there as well. We've got a great weekend of action on September 23rd with WOFA and other great grassroots groups to support Josh Cole and Griffin in that Power Pack. And then the one that I'm most excited about, because we got to get people down there, is we're going to do a weekend of action in Chesapeake. And this is a critical Power Pack. It has both of the Jenkins campaigns. I think primarily we're going to be canvassing for Karen Jenkins. And what's also exciting is Karen Jenkins, those particular places we'll be canvassing overlap with Congressional District 2. Congressional District 2 is Luria's former seat, and we just found out that Missy Cotter-Smazel is going to be running for that seat next year. Everyone is super excited. I've just been texting with her, seeing if she can come to our weekend of action. As you guys know, there's always been a challenge getting volunteers out in Southeast Virginia. We need you to show up that weekend. It's early on, right after early voting has started. It's a great time to be talking to voters, letting them know. And now that we know that Missy's going to be running, you can even tell them about their opportunities to vote next year too. So we really want to make sure it's going to be a fun weekend. We're going to have a nice dinner together. There'll be, information on supporter housing and hotels, but I'm putting the link in there. Please sign up today so we know that you're coming and that we can count on you to have that fun weekend with us. And if you happen to be coming from Arlington, Roslyn area, Louisa needs a ride. So that's what I got for you.
That's a lot. Geez, Louise, that's a dance card that's amazing. And I'm going to put two things in the chat I know I see Andrea Miller in the room, who's the president of the National Women's Political Caucus. And we have some stuff about taking action, ways you can work. We have phone banking, all kind of texting programs. I'm going to put that in the chat. And also Swing Left is another organization you can get involved with. And they have just tons of ways to just even sit from home and do what you need to do. It's funny when you mentioned Missy. I remember canvassing for her when we went to Virginia Beach, right?
I know we absolutely have. And so it's great.
Known entity. Yeah.
It's great to have her running again. It's also great that she's been able to announce so early. It just creates an opportunity, one, for momentum, but also for us to have a real reason to come together and find, and connect the groups who are doing this volunteer work to reach out to voters, hopefully throughout the year, right? So Congressional District 2 has been redistricted. It's a harder district. It's not easier, right? And it was already difficult. So we need to be starting today to be able to be prepared in order to flip that seat next year. And the great news is so much of that district overlaps with critical races this year. So when you're going down and you're knocking, for Karen Jenkins at the end of the month, or if you're going down and knocking for Mike Fagans or anybody else, those are all overlapping with Congressional District 2. So you're building momentum and opportunity for us to win, not just this year, but next year.
And that's our point, right? This whole idea of a long game and working together and seeing those layers and that's why this election is so important for next year and the presidential and so on and so on. And it's just great to build all these connections. I saw Aaron Rouse last night. He was at the Stacey Abrams event. And I don't know if you've met Aaron. I told him we're coming down in everybody knows we're coming down to canvas, by the way, but I think also I saw Mamie Locke, the senator, last night, and we also know that Senator Lucas is excited about us coming and invited us to one of her fundraisers. So if you go down there, there's a lot going on, a lot to be excited about. But I shook Aaron's hand, and he's that football player, and I think my hand is still a little sore. But it was so much fun last night being together in that room. So we hope that builds momentum and excitement. So thank you, Louisa, for getting us all straight. And I think we have a coalition meeting coming up, if you don't mind bringing that up.
I'm going to put that in the chat as well. If you want to attend and you're not already getting my emails, just send me an email and let me know. The meeting's this Sunday. We're going to go into greater depth on strategy around the elections this year and just highlighting some of the real needs. There are particular areas where we're concerned, right? Rightfully so. We have a lot of races and we need to be strategic about where we're sending our canvassers. So we'll be talking about some of the data, which campaigns are doing well, which ones have a lot of support, which ones need a little bit of extra love, and as the local grassroots of in the state, we are the ones who can be flexible, right? And so it's so important that we're looking at that data and adjusting as needed, because when people are coming from outside or helping from outside, they aren't usually able to have access to that information. So we want to be smart about it. We want to use our people power as effectively as possible. So please join us on Sunday if you are available.
Yeah, it's really good to get into that group. So thank you. And Finale, always exciting to, see you. I like your bow. It's so good.
Thank you. I've been messing with it the whole while here.
Have you been kind of getting all cuted up there? I like it. And I was thinking about this happy together and the quote from Helen Keller, alone we could do so little, together we can do so much. Right. So I want to bring a little happiness to the room about a few things about working together. I don't know if everybody's been paying attention, but Kamala Harris, the VP, will be making a bus tour in Virginia, Hampton Roads, September 14th. She is going to college campuses across the country, but we hope that she's going to do a few more stops in Virginia. because what we know, Finale, we've been talking about, young voters are key to being, to reach out, to get them to vote. And I think this is really key to being, to really working together.
I could not agree more. And I saw something pop in the chat that said Black Voters Matter is going to be in Norfolk too. So this is really to me fundamental to all of the work that we have to do. And we will not be successful alone. It will only be through working together.
Yeah, even the DNC announced it is pumping, if people have been paying attention, about 1.2 million in, and it's way more than they actually gave in 2019. I always wonder what the DNC did. Sometimes we realize they do some stuff, but it's really up to us to do everything. But what we see is that people are freaked out about money. Yes, but the secret is really for us communicating, getting people out to vote, talking to voters, and trying to really reach people so they know that what's happening, that Republicans will roll back voting rights, they're going to pass an abortion ban, and they'll roll back gun safety measures. So it's super important that we work together.
Yeah, I couldn't stress that more enough. And I think the other thing that I would just say is it can be a whole bunch of things. And I see lots of things in the chat about what people are doing this week to make them happy, but it can be just about anything. And so when you have a moment, don't miss the moment. So if that's handing a flyer to somebody because you don't have time to chat with them, do whatever is in the moment to make a difference to somebody, because that somebody could be the person to change what happens for a voting result. So we have to come together.
So also kind of cool is the National Women's Political Caucus is also supporting an initiative. And I think it's the ERA Equality Tour. They're going to be taking their RV throughout Virginia. It's coming up to Nova, which will be really cool. And that's going to be on the 15th and 16th of September. So we have all these people rolling in, and rolling in to help each other. And, sometimes things get rough, and, I don't know if you can give us some wisdom about really, how do you motivate people, or how do people really react when they're working on a team? Or do you have any kind of good wisdom beyond?
Yeah, I do. I do. I have a favorite story that I used to tell my team when I was working in corporate America. And the story really goes a little something like this in terms of how effective working together is. So there's this young city slicker, and he's driving along on a long country road. He's driving a little too fast, and he slides deep into a ditch. And so he gets out, he's really frustrated. And so he starts walking because he's got to find somebody to get a truck to pull him out. But the first thing he sees is this old farmhouse. And so he knocks on the door so he can use the phone. And this old farmer comes out, and he tells him that he's stuck way down in the ditch. And the farmer says, well, no worries. I can get you out of the ditch. I got my old horse, Johnny. And Johnny can pull you out. So the guy goes to the barn with him, and he sees this old horse. And not only is he old, he's blind too. And he's thinking to himself, well, geez, I know this old horse can't get him out, but if you think he can, well, we'll give it a try. So they go along and they hitch up Johnny to the car. And the guy is really thinking this is just never going to work. But he hitches up Johnny to the car, and he starts pulling. And he goes, pull, Johnny, pull. And he goes, pull, Ed, pull, Brownie, pull, Sam, pull. And then old Johnny pulls the car right out of the ditch. And the guy goes, well, geez, that was fantastic. But why'd you call all those names when the only person here is Johnny? And he says, Johnny works a lot harder when he thinks he's got a team. And so that's what I think about pulling together, is that if we work together as a team, we can accomplish just about anything. And that's why I'm so excited to get a chance to talk to Kat and Victoria and Charlena, because I think they're a fantastic example of working as a team.
Yeah, let's bring them up. And that's such a great story. And it is so true. You do your if you know somebody's kind of also holding you a little accountable, it's easy to get distracted, you know. So we're excited to have them here. I'll let you go at it. Great.
Oh, thank you. Come on up, Charlena. Guys, it's really good to see you. For those who are just joining, we're talking to the Coastal Power Pack. We've got Victoria Luevanos, who is running for Senate District 100, Kat Porterfield, House District 99, and CHARLENA Jones running at my own House District 100. So it's so great to have you here. So I think we'll start with you, Kat, because you're right up top. Let's just talk a little bit about your campaign, who you are, and why you're doing this, and what's really pulling you to work together with this team.
Okay. I like to say, well, first of all, thank you for having me here. I love this show, and I try and pop in when I can. For me, well, I'm a wife and a mom and a former journalist. I'm a realtor now. I also do some social media content management for a movie project. But for me, it was really beginning to pay attention to, especially in my area, the religious extremism that's happening. And we are like the epicenter of it with 700 Club and Pat Robertson. And just seeing my opponent who seems to be where she is based on name only, and that nobody really wanted to run against her, that it was seen as some kind of foregone conclusion. And I think that that's how all great stories start, when you think that there's no chance, you know, and you're fueled by that. And if you're the champion of the underdog, it's easy to, you know, put yourself in the role of the underdog. And that's what I've done with very little team members. I have some great advisors. I don't have what you would call a traditional team, you know, no full-time campaign manager. We're kind of doing this on our own because it is so incredibly worth it. What is at stake right now is so important. And if you're paying attention to this religious extreme and the things that they aren't saying out loud, they want to see, they believe that women between 20 and 35 or 18 and 35 shouldn't have the vote, that women of that age having the vote is what has destroyed our country. They want to take the vote away from college kids. They just really want to limit, they want everything in the hands of older men, and preferably older white men. And they really believe that we need to, from this part of Virginia, especially where I am, to recovenant the country back to God. They feel that this country was dedicated to God and that it is their goal to get us back there. I couldn't sit on the sidelines and just let somebody slide in when I know that that's her intent, and that those are the people behind her, and that she's merely a placeholder for them because her last name is so known around this area. So she's not a leader. You know, they didn't place her up there because they said, look at the leadership skills of this woman. We really need her representing us in Virginia. They said, look at this person. We really need her in that seat because she's going to vote exactly how we want her to vote. So I'm here, win or lose. I'm going to try to win, but I'm here.
Well, we're glad that you're stepping up, Kat, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how you guys are working together. So CHARLENA, you're in this race, and you're in a tough race too. So tell us how you got here, and a little bit about you and how you got here, why you're doing this.
So again, thank you for having me on the show, and a little how I got here. I'll tell you how I got here. FINALE, you know this story. I was talking with FINALE one day about, she called me and inquiring about school board. I'm a school board member at Northampton County Public Schools, former chairperson, first African-American to have chaired that board. So as FINALE was wrapping up with questions regarding school board, she asked, do you know of anyone who would be interested in running for delegate? And I replied, yes, me. So that's how I got here. That was always my desire and passion, was to move up to the next rim. So a little bit about me. I have a bachelor's degree and worked to put myself through college. And even with a college degree, at one point I had to rely on the government for rent assistance. Why? Because the rent is just too high. Shouldn't have happened, right? But hey, becoming a mom, single mom, these are the things that I experienced. And I know that others experience those things too. And I just don't feel that anyone should have to struggle. You shouldn't have to choose between working 2 and 3 jobs, or am I going to raise my family? You know, just the everyday life. I don't think everyone should do their best, but I just don't feel like anyone should have to struggle. So why am I in this race? to help improve the day-to-day life of the people in my community and those around us. I am paying, since I have become a candidate, I am paying more attention to what's happening, the voter suppression, just trying to take people's voting rights away from them and opportunities and taking their voice away from them. I have never been one to sit back and be silent. I am known to go against the grain when I know something is wrong. I'm going to speak up for it. That is my history. That's my track record. And I will continue to do just that, speaking up against the injustice. And I will share this here. Someone said to me, you can't be a pastor and a politician. Well, tell me this, how can you be a Christian and ignore injustice? So,
amen. Amen. And so yeah, you've got the fight to fight, and we're going to talk about that, because we're going to do something about all of that. Victoria, I want to hear why you're here, and I love hearing your story too, because you're so authentic about, you know, the reason that you feel pulled to do this work. So tell us a little bit about you too.
Hi, everyone. Again, thank you guys for having us. Well, I'm just a mom. That was my biggest accomplishment so far. But you know, as a mom, we were seeing firearm safety really, you know, it still really affects us, and it is still a worry. Like a lot of me and my friends feel comfortable at home. We do online shopping. We don't really try to leave because you just don't know. And one day my son joked about, you know, him and his friends being on the back of a t-shirt and that he didn't want to be in clouds. And, you know, he was referencing to, you know, the firearm safety issue we have. And I just was like, my son is so desensitized to this issue. And I'm pretty sure a lot of our kids are at this point. So that really just made me look at who my representative was and what is he doing. And in District 20, he's not doing much. He profits off of this stuff. So as a mom, I thought, you know, step up and stand up for the families and for the kids. And as a mom, might as well do it. And then, you know, me and my friends went on to conversate about the other stuff of what's going on. A lot of us can't afford to stay in our homes. A lot of us can't afford groceries. One of my friends has a son that has cerebral palsy, and she's had difficulty with equipment, medication, making her house adaptable. Even just seeing how her son is going to be independent in this world, it's very difficult to see that future right now. Even with my sister in her jobs, all the jobs she's been able to get is part-time, and they cut her hours so they don't have to pay her, or like as soon as, you know, she's about to make good hours, they'll replace her with somebody else just so she doesn't qualify for certain things. So it keeps a lot of people on help, and we've been in those positions. I grew up and we didn't really have stable housing. We didn't have food security. You know, we were seen as welfare kids, and luckily enough, though, that helped us survive our childhood, that helped us reach adulthood. And even being a teen mom, I've seen that aspect too. So a lot of the issues I saw growing up, I'm still seeing today. I don't see much help going into it. I'm even seeing my grandmother, who's a retiree, struggle. And, you know, I just was like, well, women, statistically, we're always the first ones to step up and help. So we're just doing it again.
Well, that's exactly right. So here's what I want to do. So I know that you guys are doing a lot of things working together. And I know, Victoria, you and Charlena are going to do some yard signs together with both of your names on it. And I get really excited about the three of you, moms going to the House and to the Senate to make a difference, to change some things. But because you guys are in a coastal area, there's not an awful lot of support coming. Is that right?
Yeah, I think a lot of our races seem hard. A lot of people are seeing these races as extremely hard.
But do you wish that, you know, the people who aren't supporting us, that we could take them along canvassing so they can see what people on the street are actually saying about having a choice?
Yeah. So yeah, you guys, you're absolutely right. I think the point is that you're here because you believe in what you're doing and you believe in the cause. So I think that we should talk about like some of the things we're working on that we want to do. Like we want to do newspaper ads. I mean, some of us are in rural areas, and newspaper and radio is really inexpensive. But I do know that a newspaper full page ad here is something like $700 that we could talk about Democrats in general and what they do. Robin, can you show us what an ad might look like if we did an ad, a full page ad? Yeah, what Democrats do with power. We rebuild roads and lower costs and defend democracy. And if we could raise $700 today, we could do a full page ad for Victoria and for Charlena. And Kat would benefit too, because then they could spend some time helping her canvas. And so I say to all the folks on the Power Lunch, we're going to put in an Act Blue, and let's see if we can help get a full page ad for Charlena and for Victoria so that they understand how we are all supporting the really great work that they're doing and really how proud we are of them, all three of them, for stepping up in these really hard races. So I know we've got to go. So Catherine, you're going to bounce on in just a minute. And is there anything you want to say to these fantastic candidates before I let them go?
Oh, no, I think if in the room, if everybody gave $5, we could do it.
We could do it.
$10. We teamwork together. And I think what we know is those things work. So we really appreciate how you guys are working together. And I'm really excited that you were able to come today. So no, I'm just saying, keep it up, and we're going to work with you, and we're excited. But what I do want to talk about, if you don't mind, while you're here, is the importance of the Power Pack. So we're going to go to the Chesterfield Power Pack next, if Penny can hold on, and we're going to kind of flip it because Bilal is here and he's a teacher, and we want to make sure that we give the Chesterfield Power Pack some time. Does that sound good to everybody?
And so we hope that we'll see Charlena and Kat and Victoria in the after chat, and we can talk with them some more about the really great work that they're doing and how proud we are of them for the work that they are doing.
Yeah. And let's keep an eye on those donations, and let's see if we can make it by the end of the show. That would be exciting. And we know that, billboards are just so important when we do billboards too. I would love to have billboard across Virginia if we could, right? If somebody give me $1 million, I would just I would buy every billboard for sure.
Me too, but I'll let you talk to the
let's do it, because I want to make sure, understanding that we do have some teachers here. I want to bring up the Chesterfield Power Pack. We just saw the Coastal Power Pack, how exciting that is. We have Natan McKenzie from Senate District 12, Bilal Rachani, am I saying that right? House District 72, and Tracy Frazen, school board candidate. Woo, power. You feeling powerful?
Yes, indeed.
Well, it's fun. I mean, really, when we do talk about working together, Natan, let's start with you, because you're Senate. We'll put you as we say, top of the heap, top of the pack here. Talk about how are you guys working together? How's that working for you all?
Oh, we are doing some history making, let's just say, in Chesterfield County and working together. If you haven't saw the news article that Sarah put out, we had combined all of our efforts as far as fellow Chesterfield candidates. And a quick shout out, if you're on the call, you're a Chesterfield candidate, if you just raise your hand so folks know that you're here. It's not just us three. We have about 20 plus candidates that are running, that are being supported by us all. Yeah. So we came together and created a Blue United Pact. Right. And so we're putting all of our funds together, all our resources, so that we can streamline these efforts across the county and get everyone elected this November. Right. And that's not only Senate, that's House, Board of Supervisors, school board, and countywide as well. And so pretty much all seats, minus maybe 2 or 3, are being contested in this election cycle. So we're really excited about what we're able to do.
Yeah, I see Dominique chatters. Hello, Dominique. She raised her hand. I know. Is anybody else? Put your hand up. It's a big pack. It's great to see everybody. And to be on this is so important. That news article was incredible. And Tracy, who wants to talk about this Blue United Pack and explain what that is? Tracy, I see you nodding your head. Talk about the Blue United Pack. That was so interesting how you pulled together for this this
Yeah.
collective?
Yeah, Nathan mentioned a little bit, but that's something we're really excited to have groundbreaking here in Chesterfield. Where I believe it's the first time that candidates have come together ourselves to form our own PAC. We are fundraising together. We have hired a field director that we all share now. So he is cutting our turf and making sure that we don't double knock one area before all the areas get knocked. So we have learned some lessons because 2019, we found where some candidates were knocking the same street and people were getting annoyed. Hey, someone was just here. No, actually that was for the other race, but we're still together. So we're learning and growing, and this year being smarter, working smarter, not harder together. So it's really fantastic. You know, the theme of the show is teamwork, and we are really embracing that here in Chesterfield collectively. So yeah, I put the Blue United link in the chat, and that will help us fundraise so we can get some shared literature going. We make sure that every time we go out to doors, we are taking either a one-page lit that we got printed up with all of our overlapping candidates on it, or we just take our individual lit pieces. It's been really fun. I got an apron made up with my logo on it with 3 pockets, so I have space to put everybody's lit there. So depending on which door and which overlapping districts, we make sure everybody is represented. And I've got this little craft project system I do at the doors now. So I've got a pocket full of binder clips and a pocket full of rubber bands and a pocket full of literature. And so you know, you have to knock on the door and give them some time to answer. So while I'm giving them some time to come down to answer the door, I'm putting my lit packet together, bundling it with the binder clip, attaching the rubber band to it. And if they don't answer, then the rubber band goes on the door handle. So no one has to bend down to pick up our lit from the floor.
That is so thoughtful. And you also did a targeted postcard to voters about, and also talk about that real quick. I love it.
Oh yeah, well, so I'm targeting postcards to different voters. So I've got the Green District, which is the big rural area. It's half the landmass of Chesterfield County. A lot of long driveways, a lot of driveways you wouldn't really knock on their door because they're on a busy road. So we are targeting postcards directly to them, asking them directly, can I put a sign in your yard? And so I'm getting good response from that now. People are calling me back saying, hey, you actually put your phone number on here? I'm like, yeah, it's me. It's me for real. I want to talk to you. You're in my district. I want to represent you. I want to hear from you directly. So it's, and then we also have postcards going to voters who did not vote in 2019, letting them know that this is an important year. This is the local year. This is the year that matters for us right here at home.
Nice. So we want to make sure we get everybody's voice in here. And Bilal, welcome. And I know that you're teaching. How's your day going so far? Are the kids happy to be back in school, or what's school looking like? Because let's talk about, this is a really great issue for the district. We're talking about teacher shortages, qualified teachers. What is going on?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. And I have exactly 3 minutes before the next bell in my
Go ahead. You have it. Go.
Wait. I'm glad you asked that. Last night was actually our back to school nights, where I did get to meet a lot of my students' parents, you know, in my capacity as an educator, and get to talk to them about all the really, really cool, really, really big things that we are trying really hard to do as educators. And of course, none of that can happen without funding. So the fact that the budget is now being rapidly pushed through the General Assembly now with a $650 million earmark dedicated to education specifically is astounding. It's phenomenal. So looking at Tracy's map, I represent the top half of the yellow part at the top. So District 72 is Midlothian, all of Powhatan, all of Amelia, and all of Nottoway. And I am a teacher at a Powhatan Middle School. And one thing that I have been really, really big on has been advancing opportunities in career technical education. Mm-hmm. I teach coding and robotics and game design to these kids. And we recently, through a partnership with Reynolds Community College, were able to expand out our offerings to our students to set them up on a track, starting with my class, moving through high school to graduate with more opportunities. I'm going to tell you what I told parents last night. I told them that we need our kids to hit the ground running to, as soon as they leave high school, because we have capable, confident, competent kids that want to do really cool things. And we have to do right by them and keep these opportunities coming so they can pursue their dreams and get jobs at 18 years old that will pay them twice what I make teaching them, which is fine.
Yes.
That's another issue. But really, if we can get these cross-curricular foundations now, we can guarantee that our kids are going to grow up to do truly tremendous things. I got into this campaign because the local Democratic parties approached me after a particularly fiery school board speech I gave to my school board and asked if I was interested in running for office, because I railed against our draconian censorship policies that I know a lot of our school boards are encountering right now. And by joining up with Chesterfield and meeting a lot of really, really cool people at their Democratic committee meetings, the idea of forming a PAC came not long after that, because we, not only do we share the same values and ideals, we share the same enthusiasm. And
yes, I can feel it.
And and we are. I get the stereotype that, politicians just say things to save face and, look good in front of the cameras. But I can say with absolute certainty that I have never met a more genuine group of people. And that to me is the most important thing you need in an elected official, is somebody who does what they say they're going to do and who actually is how they present themselves. That's my bell, apparently.
That's your bell. Saved by the bell. But yeah, go ahead. Last words.
Last words. We're all launching fundraisers and events to try to help each other out. I know I'm running one myself. I'm calling 1016 for 1016. I'm trying to get a minimum of $10.16 from at least 1,016 people each by my birthday, October 16th, which is also the last day you can same day register and vote, not on a provisional ballot. Everything lined up to make that happen. So that link is now live in the chat. And thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah.
Being here once again. I am the guy on the banner, Bilal Z. Rayshuni, and I've got some kids to go inspire. So I will
go inspire, and you inspired us. Thank you so much, and we'll continue talking about Chesterfield. So we have just a wrap up in a few minutes here, but I want to, one thing about Chesterfield is so special to us. Back in 2017, we saw when Abigail beat Brat. That was our favorite spot where we knew, and then with redistricting, there's a lot of opportunity to flip that area blue, a lot of excitement. You have talk about then to town. We have Senator Hashmi. You have some really great stuff in your corner, Deborah Gardner, and you also have some real momentum with some recent special election in 22 that gave you Mark Miller, who was and on the board of supervisors. So some really great things happening there. So, tell us some of that secret sauce and what you guys were planning to do, like taking this forward. What does it look like?
Well, actually, Bilal kind of teed it up for me. We have a group of really genuine people who were even working together before the PAC was even started, right? Tracy Dominique have a fundraiser that's on tonight, as you guys kind of see in the chat. Mark Miller, Lornette Lee have another meet and greet that's going on tomorrow, in addition to our canvassing launches. And then Jessica Schneider and Gonzalo Hashmi have a reception in remembrance of Donna Keachin on Sunday. And of course, Jennifer McCullough has been tremendous. She's been like a tour guide of Chesterfield County for the past 2 weeks, let's just say. And so she's traveling to Dominique and Tracy's tonight. She's got some events going on this weekend, along with being our guest host at our brunch show. The secret sauce really is just simply doing the work, working with people who really embody the same values that we share and have that same enthusiasm that this is not just a winnable seat. We're going to win. Yes. Right? The work that we're putting on the ground, the folks that you've already mentioned, Catherine, and as well as some others, have consistently given us support, guidance, and also resources in many different ways to really make this happen. So I'm just excited for September. I mean, we're hitting the ground running. I'm even super excited about October, and then November, we're just going to take this thing home.
Yeah. So Tracy, hopefully you guys can stay in the after chat. I love it that your guys are regular parts of the show too. And I know Finale's here because we're going to get to red, wine, and blue. I think everybody in the room, and I'll speak for everybody, is that this meeting the people running has just made me really super happy. It gives me that kind of enthusiasm we all need to stick together and stay together. So thank you, because I know how hard it is to run and the time you guys have been putting into it. So thank you for being here. Stick with us, and we're going to bring up for now Penny Blue and
Before
Laura.
you go,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, before you go, because I wanted to say this is really awesome, because this is really what we want. I mean, so you have the person sitting at the top, and you guys, you don't knock on double doors, because you're meeting together and you're working together. And so that's what it should look like everywhere. The person who's sitting at the top, whether that's the person running for the Senate seat or not, you have a weekly meeting for 30 minutes and you just say, this is the stuff that we're doing. What's working? What's not working? That is what working together is. And that's when it really works. And so congratulations to you guys, Charlena and Victoria and Kat, because that's how this is supposed to work.
Yeah, supposed to. And I agree. And this is moving forward a model. I think we need to do this everywhere. So thank you for telling us that takeaway. It was important. Thank you, Finale. Well, go ahead. To talk about relational organizing, let's bring up Red, Wine, and Blue, because I know that they are just trying to get and galvanize all people across the state. Penny Blue and Laura Burry. Go at it, Finale.
All right. So Penny and Laura, it's so great to have you both here. So for those of you who might not be as familiar with Red, Wine, and Blue, Penny, just take it quickly, because I know we're short on time, and tell us about Red, White, and Blue and why we're so excited about why Laura's here and the work that you've been doing to get us already all across Virginia.
Excellent. Thank you for having us today. And I love the theme today of working together, because that is actually what Red, Wine, and Blue is all about. Red, Wine, and Blue is a community of 500,000 diverse suburban women across the United States working together to help us defeat right-wing extremism. And we do that with what I call our superpower. Our superpower is relational organizing. And so that's one woman at a time, or one suburb at a time. And if you think about it, that's what we do best as women, is we build relationships. We have conversations. And so these conversations are about the particular issues, and voting common sense on the issue versus voting about the party that you voted for the last 50 or 60 years. And working together, I have to talk about Laura Berry. She is the deputy director. She and I meet every morning at the beginning of the day to talk about what happened yesterday and the day before, what we need to do today and tomorrow. And so the latest thing that we've done working together is that we've hired 6 Get Out to Vote organizers that are awesome. They have been through training over the last couple of weeks, and they hit the ground running. And I'd like to share where they are specifically, and they'll put that information in the chat, because what we did, again, working with the Grassroots Coalition, you guys, and et cetera, we defined the most critical areas that we need to focus on. So we hired the 6 organizers for those particular areas. So my first organizer is Melanie, and she is responsible for Senate District PAC 31 in Loudoun, Fauquier. So if you're in that area, reach out to her. Then we have Andrea. She is responsible for Senate District PAC 30, Prince William and Manassas. Then we have Kelsey. She's responsible for Senate District 27. And so that's Stafford, Spotsylvania. And then we move down south to Richmond, where Christy is responsible for Henrico County, Northwest Richmond. And then we move into the Tidewater area. We have Heather, who's responsible for the Hampton Roads area. And then we don't forget Southwest Virginia, of course, where we have Sarah, and she's going to be responsible for our Senate District 4. And so we please contact these people. Louisa mentioned early vote parties. We are either participating in an early vote party or we're setting up early vote parties. And so because Virginia is a huge state, as we know, it covers a whole lot of ground. this is where we are focusing for being on the ground. But we have a new program coming out. And I'm really excited about this because this program is called Trouble Nation. So if you're not specifically in the areas that I talked about, we are having an event on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 7:30. And it'll be about how we can help people organize in other areas where we are not specifically on the ground. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute and I know Laura has some input here.
Yeah, so, and I want to hear what Laura has to say. And I also want to hear, so as we've got these 5 fantastic women who are going to be working throughout.
Six
fantastic women working throughout the state. What does that look like? So what should the impact be? What should we see and feel with these 6 women out there? So Laura, go ahead, tell us what you have to say, and I want to know the answer.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm so happy to shout out our organizers any chance I can get. They are phenomenal. We could not be happier. And the impact is what we do, and that's relational organizing. And they are going to be in the communities, pulling women together. We're women. We have fun. We love to talk to each other. And we are going to just start getting the word out, getting the messaging out, all the information, tools, and resources that everybody who has gotten frustrated and outraged, and, you know, we're what Red, Wine, and Blue, you know, was founded on. We're the pissed off suburban women. Well, now we have the tools and resources to not just sit there and be frustrated, but get out and start getting the work done. So.
Very good. Well, I'm pretty excited about it. I think everybody else is excited about it too. So is there anything else that we should know? So what should we do? I know you guys said that we should contact you, but is there any way that you guys have that you're sort of plugging into the SD districts? Penny.
I think it's very important for everybody to understand that everybody has a lane. And that's one thing I like about Virginia, is that we are organized and the different teams are working together. So some people's lane is, as you said, knocking on doors. Some people is making phone calls. Some are sending postcards. So ours is the relational organizing piece. So we need to work with the folks that are, you know, sending the postcards and to get with these women so that this lane that we can work to have those conversations to get the suburban woman to ensure that they are voting correctly. And that's, Laura mentioned earlier about how we got started. Katie Parrish started this in Ohio because she saw the impact, the political impact that the suburbs had, the political impact where we won, and then a political impact where we lost. So that's why she started this. And what you have to keep in mind, you know, some races are won by one vote, or, you know, as we know in Virginia, by the toss of a coin. So we have to make certain we don't have to toss a coin this year, that we win by a number of votes. And we do that by all working together in our lanes and, you know, making certain that we can pull everybody in and get everybody out to vote.
I think that's pretty awesome. And that's a fantastic place to end. So Catherine, come on up. I hope that you, Penny and Laura, will be able to stay for the after chat, because there's a lot more we have to talk about.
Great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It's always good. And like I said, I can't be more excited that just the layers of all people working together will just create just such momentum.
And you can see we have fun.
I know. I love it. So I'm wondering too, if we're working together on these early, what are you guys doing around early vote? Do you have momentum? Like we're trying to create, are you doing events? What is your plan?
A couple of things. One, we got with Barbara in Loudon, so we're participating with her in that. Then the Hampton Roads, we're working with COVA in that one. And so now the other areas where we are, I've asked my organizers to come by the end of this week as to where they're going to have the event. And what I'll do is pass that along to Louisa so that she can share it with everybody.
Yeah, because what's exciting, Laura, and you're in Loudon, correct?
No, I'm in Fairfax.
You're by me. Yeah, so I would like to work with you on the Fairfax one on September 22nd. What I love is just this energy that we start a campaign and we just try to spread it across Virginia. And so I'm just going to say again to everybody in the room, get involved with Red, Wine, and Blue. Make sure we amplify, getting especially the younger voters, younger moms, younger women involved. This will be awesome. But I just want to encourage everybody again to create an event or join an event. I know Dominic is here from Fairfax. He is part of the Fairfax STEM, executive director of the Fairfax STEMs. I called some Fairfax STEMs and I'm like, look, this is what we're doing. Join us. And I think that's how we have to do it and create this energy. So thank you for being here. We're real excited.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Finale, it's that time. I can't believe it. It's only 102, which isn't too bad.
No.
And 102, and this is the best. Eileen has her hand up at 102. She's ready for the after chat. So, any closing remarks? I know that we always talk about these important takeaways that when we do a show, what do we want people to learn?
Yeah, so I do. I have a couple of takeaways today. The first one is pulling together. So if you are on the phone and you're running for office, you cannot do it by yourself. You have got to have the team working with you. So that's my first one. And then my second one, I think Penny said it, everybody has a lane. So figure out what is the thing that you can do when you can do it and take advantage of every single moment and do something.
Yeah. I like to drive around every lane. So that's crazy. But I want to thank everybody this weekend too. Chesterfield, we know a lot's going on down there. Stair has been really, really championing the Chesterfield PAC. Stair, do you want to unmute real quick to say a few words? And then we're going to go to the after chat to talk more. Do you want to say real quick?
Sure, I'll say real quick. I put it in the chat. I wrote that article. I really want us to flip Chesterfield blue this year. I think that would be super exciting for Virginia, the nation.
The nation.
So come to the fun fundraiser tonight, books and baskets. And come and canvas with me. I try all the lanes too. Canvassing is not my forte. I come for the food,
Right.
Food okay.
Right. So stay there.
Could I also take the moment just to also say that we're going to have what once was referred to as a once in a lifetime opportunity to have a fundraiser for Lily Franklin at my best friend Barbara's house. She has a stunning home. Her and her husband run wine traditions for about the last 30 years. And it's really a nice opportunity. She's my best friend. We met at the bus stop when I was 8 years old. I would just really personally invite everyone to come and join this fabulous fundraiser.
And that is Sunday at
4 o'clock.
Put that in. I'm going to be there for that.
I'll put the link in. I hadn't yet. Okay.
Thank you. Especially
wine.
Right,
thank you.
Bye-bye, Stair. Thank you, big boss. So exciting. We're all get excited. There's so many months to go. We're going to go to the after chat, so stick with us. But first, I want to make sure that I say thank you to all the guests today. I think that this just gave me so much just joy today being with everybody. And don't forget about us. Don't forget about our show. Robin always reminds me, you know what? We got to talk about who we are, what we do, and why we're important. And we are. So make sure that you put some money in our cup. Thank you to the new patron, Peggy Rutledge. If you're in the room, Peggy, love you, showing the love. And then subscribe.
And we have another one.
What? Stop
Amy
it.
Fox. Amy Fox.
Amy Fox. I love it. Thank you for that. It means a lot. And thank you to the team, Finale Norton, Robin Warner, Stair Calhoun, Heidi Dragneff, Dennis Orsinger, Michelle McKenney, new name, Michelle McKenney. We used to call her the chat liaison, but she's our community builder. So thank you for Michelle McKenney for always building community, and Laura Martinez for always helping us get people in the room and settled. And for the people that keep us straight on paper, Julie Galdo, Alvina McCall, Sally Renrold, and to our audience. Thank you for always being here every week. And we will go, let's just roll credits.